it's really difficult as a freelancer to be getting high paying clients. And hence, what I always tell people is to have an inbound strategy and not an outbound strategy.
Right.
Be it job seeking, be it client seeking, right? You should have people reaching out to you, which means then you can command how you want to run the show. See, marketing in a nutshell is what? First is you need to understand, right? Many people think that marketing is selling, marketing is running ads, right? No. Marketing is the simplest form of performance marketing is Google search ads. Simplest form of performance marketing is Facebook retargeting with a great offer, right? Another form of performance marketing is
Hello, guys, and welcome to Just Curious podcast, where we decode the mindset of our guest through curiosity. और आज के एपिसोड में हमारे साथ है दीपन सिद्धू. ही इज़ अ परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटर एंड हैज़ वर्कड विद ओवर 150 brands, which includes some of the names like Amazon, Reliance Trends, Tanishq, Dell, and many more. Deepan has spent over 100 million on ad spends till date. तो अगर आपको डिजिटल मार्केटिंग या परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग में अपना करियर बिल्ड करना है, अगर आपको एक हाई पेइंग फ्रीलांसर बनना है इन दिस इंडस्ट्री, तो आप किससे एडवाइस लोगे, आप किससे सीखोगे इस इंडस्ट्री के बारे में? एक विदाउट एक्सपीरियंस डिजिटल मार्केटर से या दीपन जैसे एक एक्सपीरियंस्ड मार्केटर से? मेरा आंसर बहुत ऑब्वियस था, and that's why I had Deepan Siddhu on my podcast and we talked on several topics around digital marketing, like क्यों आपको बेसिक सीखने चाहिए मार्केटिंग के टू बिकम गुड डिजिटल मार्केटर और परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटर, आप किस तरीके से क्लाइंट को अप्रोच कर सकते हो, आपके कमर्शियल्स क्या होने चाहिए. और दीपन ने एक बहुत ही अच्छा एग्जांपल लेके स्टेप बाय स्टेप प्रोसेस बताया है एक परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग कैंपेन को एग्जीक्यूट करने का. ऑल्सो दीपन हैज शेयर्ड वन गोल्डन वे टू गेट हाई पेइंग क्लाइंट्स. आई प्रॉमिस ये पॉडकास्ट एपिसोड देखने के बाद आपके नॉलेज में अपग्रेड होगा, आपको एक क्लैरिटी मिलेगी अबाउट दिस इंडस्ट्री और आपको हेल्प मिलेगी टू बिकम अ गुड डिजिटल मार्केटर और परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटर जिसकी एक हाई डिमांड होगी मार्केट के अंदर. अगर आप हमारे चैनल के ऊपर नए आए हो देन मेक श्योर यू सब्सक्राइब टू आवर चैनल बिकॉज वी रिलीज पॉडकास्ट एवरी मंडे एट 7:15 PM. And now it's time for conversation with Deepan Siddhu around performance marketing only on Just Curious podcast. You did lot of changes in you because 10 years before Deepan and right now as of now Deepan is completely different. Like what were some of those changes you deliberately made in you that I have to improve on these things because you as a person also knows that you are doing these things wrong?
Sure. One thing I felt, I used to think that I'm the best. That always stayed in my head right from the time, the first immediate time after my graduation. When I started working, I used to have this in my head that I'm the best. That when the time passed by, I realized that there are like literally thousands and millions of people who are better than you. So you should never have that in your head that you are the best. You can try and be the best. You can always optimize to be that best at what you do, but you can never be the best, right? There is always room for improvement at everything that you do. That's number one. Number two is I also felt, professionally, I felt individually I can do a lot. I used to hate dependencies, right? Whenever I had to ask somebody for something and that gets delayed, it used to bother me a lot, right? So I used to operate a lot alone, but after a point I realized that you can only go so far alone, right? You have to become a team man. You have to take other people along with you. It cannot be just you. When you take other people along with you, that leads to your growth as well, right? Uh, that is another thing. Third thing, I also felt that another hard thing that I've learned is ties back to what I said previously in terms of becoming the best. It's not an end state, right? Every day you need to be keeping on improving. And I would like to give an analogy here. This is from Simon Sinek, who's a big leadership guru on YouTube. You might have seen him saying that if you go to the gym day 1, you will not feel anything. Day 2, you don't feel anything. Day 3, day 30, you will not feel anything. But if you consistently keep doing that, at some point in time, maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, you will see a completely different version of yourself. And that applies to your professional life as well. Many people want to achieve magic overnight. Many people want to, let's say, go from a 3 lakh rupee to 30 lakh package, or a 30 lakh LPA to a 3 crore package overnight. But if you consistently work on yourself in terms of being a better person, that could be, if I have to call out the proper analogy, the 1% better, you would have seen that multiple times. And the 1% is technically not possible, but philosophically, if you do get better by 1% within a year, within a couple of years, you will be a completely different person.
Right, right. I think it's the thing that you just said right here is that idea of showing up every day, no matter what, just show up every day, do something about where you want to reach. So do
Absolutely.
as much as you can. Like, even if you are like, let's say if you want to become healthy, and to give a better version, to better analogy, like someone wants to lose weight, like I am right now, I'm overweight by like some 15 kgs or what. So I started doing only 10 push-ups 1 month back. I gave it myself that okay, I will not be able to go directly to a 30-minute 1 hour of workout session. Let me just start with 10 push-ups. So I started doing that. Then it turned into a 5 minute of workout of stretching after doing all those things, and then 10 push-ups. Now it's going for 2 kilometer run, then coming back, then doing my push-up, then 1 minute of plank. So it has now turned into a 20-25 minutes of push-ups. So now I'm reaching there where I want to reach of 1 hour of workout session, because there I know that my weight is going to lose because I'm going to burn this kind of amount of calorie. But I just want to uh, I just want to ask you this question, that for lot of people, showing up every day become very boring, and they think that if it's becoming boring for me, it's not good for me. Like, so how do they actually keep that objective in their mind about where they want to reach, and continuously try to show up every day? So my question is just how to show up every day without getting too much distracted about results on all the other things that internet or some people are saying to you.
Got it. I've been that person, in fact, I'm not sure if you've seen any of my older pictures or older video. Uh, I've lost about 25 kgs in the last, 1 to 1.5 years, right? And I was that person who was scared of working out, who was scared of letting go of something that you really like in terms of, eating, right? But I believed in it. But it's not easy for everybody to show up every day, and I completely understand with you. But I've been there. It's not easy, right? Because it's not like I did not attempt, working out early in my life, but I always gave up. Then I realized it's important to assign an incentive, right? Uh, what do I mean by incentive is, and I'll go back to the working out example again. Let's say if you really feel like eating a bowl of ice cream, right? But you need to give yourself that reward after you have achieved something, right? That's something that you do not like doing. And that could be going to the gym or just going for a run, right? If I take a professional context, let's say it could be as simple as a certification program, as simple as finishing 5 blogs in your reading list, as simple as finishing a playlist that has been pending in your long time, and then rewarding yourself with something, right? For example, it could be maybe you want to buy yourself something nice, maybe you want to go out and take yourself out for a dinner, spend time alone, right? Whenever I face that challenge of showing up every day, I always add an incentive. And it may not be a method that works for everybody, but that's a method that worked for me, especially on my bad days when I don't feel like studying, when I don't feel like reading, or when I don't feel like working out. I try and attach myself an incentive that I've always wanted to that particular piece of thing that I don't feel like doing. So that has worked for me, and even today I incorporate that, and that helps keep pushing myself.
Yeah, right. This is true, that giving yourself some kind of incentive, kind of a reward after doing some hard thing, it will actually like it will tell your brain that okay, I did this and I got because of this. So it will So next time you will want to go to run, there will be a lesser friction attached to it, right? True. We are living in this internet era where information is just you know, keep coming at you at a very fast pace. Like from Twitter, you are reading Twitter thread, then you are going to Instagram. There are some kind of reels who are sharing about this thing, that thing. You are consuming information from right, left, and center. So like, how do you uh keep those, I'm not going to say junk of information, but let's say the information that you may feel that it is bit of a shallow as of now, and there are some kind of thing, and I don't want to take that information very seriously. So how do you keep that healthy balance of maintaining that information gap? Because there is not too much of, area to consume all of that information in our brain. You have to keep some out of it, and you don't have to take some information seriously. So how do you keep that healthy balance of maintaining that information gap?
That's a great question. This is something that I figured out the hard way, because I used to be this instant consumer of information. Whatever comes my way, I was consuming it. And at a point, I felt that it was overwhelming me and it was not really productive, right? So these days, I limit the kind of information and I also limit the channels that I'm exposed to. For example, if I go to my YouTube, I don't go and upskill myself on YouTube. The YouTube is purely meant for entertainment. When I need to upskill myself, there are only two things that I do. There are specific newsletters that I'm subscribed to, and there are specific communities, Slack communities that I'm a part of. The reason why
Right.
while I like consuming information through a newsletter is because it keeps you focused. There is not a lot of distractions. Imagine doing that on YouTube, and there comes your favorite hero's new movie trailer, and you get distracted, and you know how that works.
Uh-huh.
That rabbit hole. And hence I limit the channel in terms of if I have to upskill, that is a specific channel, right? If I need to get entertainment, that is a specific channel. So I try and avoid these distractions. And I limit the number of people that I follow. I know on Twitter, it gets exciting when you see a thread with 10K kind of retweets and so many impressions. But I think thread often leads you in very different places, right? And it
Yeah.
is usually unproductive, is what I hear, because a lot of threads that I see is blogs that you may have read, right?
Yeah.
List of tools, list of tips. There are hardly anything productive. So I'm very, very specific about the kind of people that I follow. I also am very specific about who I take advice from, right? And not believe every advice out there. When I say that, for example, on LinkedIn, I follow very specific people that I look up to. These are people I want to become eventually, and I try and limit that information instead of, even if I see something random, I keep blocking these updates so that my feed remains clean. Twitter is a place that I treat as an entertainment and not really as a place where I can learn a lot. So just like YouTube, when I feel bored, I just log into Twitter sometimes, right? Instagram is another place where I have two separate accounts, one for professional. The one that you got in touch with me was my professional account, where I don't really open a lot of DMs because I get tons of messages there. Then I have a personal account which is specifically meant for friends that I love, that I have great relationships with. So there you will not see me sharing any thought leadership content, talking about performance marketing, none of that sort. You will actually see me talking about music, talking about my favorite sport on my personal handle, where I'm connected with a lot of my friends.
Right, right. This is a nice way to, uh, segregate your information
Yeah,
that you are consuming.
organize your life, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The thing about that you said about Twitter threads, I've been there because I just joined Twitter. I started using Twitter seriously like 1 year ago only. And when I started Twitter, I started following, people like, oh, I want to follow them, and Twitter show you that, you know this might interest you, and these are some of the people that you can follow, and all those things. I started following them, and there were only threads and threads. I was reading on and about 15 to 18 threads a day, and I was consumed by it
Yeah.
so much that it takes a toll on me after some point of time, and I had to remove Twitter from my I unfollowed some of the people. Then that, okay, now it's just there are so many Twitter threads are just clickbaity, 10 and 8 things and 5 things and all those things. I completely agree with you on that. Now I want to ask you this question because I'm struggling with this also in my life as of now. That you've you know, in 2012 13, when you know digital marketing was very new, you figured out a way that okay, this might interest me a lot. So like I'm struggling with this, that like what am I good at? So I have tried bunch of things in my life, and there I think there might be a lot of people who will be struggling with this as well, that they are not finding what they love or what they like, let's say. So directly, if I have to ask it directly to you, like how do you find what you love work? How do you find the work that you love?
Got it. I mean, that's different ways, different people. Eventually, what I tell people is even if you are feeling super confused, the only thing that I can assure you is you will figure it out. It's just
Right.
that it may not be tomorrow. It may be next year. It may be 10 years down the line. And I've read something interesting a while ago, and it is so true. And I've seen that in so many people's life. A man gets to decide what to do with life on an average at the age of 37. Right? Only at the age of 37, you actually figure out or have very clear state of mind as to what am I going to do the rest of my life, right? Um, but easier said than done, right? You will have family commitments. You might want to get into a relationship. There might be a family that is going to be dependent on you. There could be financial constraints, right? There are so many of these things which expect you to figure things out very quickly, right? At least I can tell the method that I used, right? Uh, it may work for you, it may not work for the people who are listening to this. What I did is just like you, I was trying to do multiple things because this was the time in my career where I had to really figure out things for myself and I had to take care of my family around the year 2011 12. This was the time I also told myself, hey, do you really want to get into something just for the sake of making money? Or do you really want to find something that you love and still make money, right? Here is the time that I tried something with retail. I tried stockbroking. I was in sales for some time. I started a BPO with a friend. There are literally many things that I did, and then finally I stumbled upon digital marketing, right? I mean, there is this feeling that you get. I'm not sure when you will get it, but there is a feeling, right? As soon as I came across the word digital marketing has fascinated me at that time. When I started reading about it, I got excited, right? And I told myself, okay, this is where I'm going to make my career with. Now it's not easy for everybody else. Maybe it happened to me early. I stumbled across that subject that interested me too much, and that industry was also ready to progress, right? And it may not happen for all the people. But what I would request you to do is try different things, especially early in your career. If you're still taking money from your parents, that's a great time for you to be testing your life, right? Because not all of us, uh, get that. Sometimes, as a young person, you might have to take ownership of the entire family. But if you are fortunate to be still getting paid pocket money from your dad and mom, this is a great time for you to be testing your life. When I say testing, that could be many things, right? List out an area of things that you want to be testing. I mean, if an area like share market or stock market interests you, do you want to get into that, right? Is it something to do with your graduation? Do you want to get into that? Or they're your friends who are getting into a new field that fascinates you? Do you want to get into that, right? Or when you go in the road and you might have seen so many businesses, did any businesses particularly interest you, right? You could probably get into that. And don't worry about making money early in the career. That's what I always tell people. uh, it's difficult, but trust me, it works, right? At least early in your career, don't worry about making money. Find something that you really love doing, right? uh, when I say love doing, when you do that work, you don't feel like working at all.
Yeah.
That is what I call as love what you're doing, right? Sometimes, let's say, when you're playing, you get this real good adrenaline rush, right?
Yeah.
Are you getting a very similar feeling when you're doing that work, which is helping you make money? There is the sweet spot, right? When I started with my career, even today, even though a lot of my friends talk about work pressure and stuff like that, I never had the work pressure ever because I always loved what I do, right? It only fascinates me when I come across another challenge that I need to be solving. So yeah, do that if
Right,
that works for
right.
you.
Yeah, this is a very helpful advice.
Yeah,
Thank you for saying this. Uh, the thing that you said about, do not think about, earning money, earning too much of money at a very early age. That's very true because recently I was doing some journaling and I just told myself that don't put yourself in some kind of position or just do the work because you want to earn quick amount of money for just some temporary period of time. It will, after some point of time, it will lead me just nowhere. I will have to start again. So then just be patient and just try doing different stuffs and see what works for me. 100%. In one of your podcasts you said that digital marketing, performance marketing, influence marketing, there is marketing attached to it. Marketing always comes first, you know so like what are some of the fundamentals that a freelancer or agency, like small agency, like they start with their friends and all those things, they need to understand about marketing?
yeah.
That please understand these fundamentals and learn these fundamentals. If you have not understood it really well, then please learn these fundamentals of marketing so you can drive better results for your clients and you can have a good business of yours as well.
Absolutely. That's, I think, a fantastic question. I never got to talk about this actually, the traditional, the basic marketing that everybody needs to know, right? See, marketing in a nutshell is what? First is you need to understand, right? Many people think that marketing is selling, marketing is running ads, right? No, no. Marketing is communicating a set of values about the product or service to a set of people who can potentially buy your product, right? Marketing is not just any awareness that you make it. For example, let's say if you're sponsoring Virat Kohli's jersey, right, and entire country will be watching that. Not everybody is the target audience, right? So that's not every form of awareness is good as well. Now, going back to basics of marketing, the first is to understand, okay, what are the values? I said communicating a set of values about my product, right? What difference is my product making in my customer's life, right? And how is my product different from anybody else in the market? Why is my product priced at a certain way? Why is my product only available at a few places, right? These are like basic foundations of marketing, that why and what and how of your product, right? When does then comes the consumer psychology, right? Why should a customer care buying from you? Why should a customer try you in first place? When does the customer think about you? When does the customer think about the competition, right? When does the customer feel like transacting with you? There are so many things that goes into it. For anybody who's just getting started with marketing, I would recommend you to read this book called This is Marketing by Sid Godin. That's enough, right? I mean, you could, of course, read Philip Kotler as well, but that's a super long read.
Yeah.
You will not actually walk away with a lot of examples. It's a lot of theory. I would rather have you read Seth Godin, This is Marketing, where you will understand, okay, what is the value proposition? What is a unique selling proposition? How do I deeply understand my consumers? How do I do closed user group studies, right? How do I price my product? How do I ensure my product is available at different places? What are the different channels that I can use? What is branding? What is logo? What is the font? What is the color, right? All of these things are foundations of marketing, right? Before
Mhm.
you even pick up, let's say, Facebook ads, before you even pick up
Yeah.
Google ads and start going with it immediately, this is the fundamental problem with a lot of young marketers that I interact with. They immediately jump to channel. Channel comes way later. See, channel is one of the way to take your message to the set of people, right? So how do you define that set of people? How do you define that set of messages? It's a large part of marketing, right?
Right.
As simple as a Facebook ad, right? Today you will just put your product benefits and run an ad. Many people often come and tell me that Deepan, I spent 15,000 rupees, sales have not happened, right? Then I go check their ad. It's a shit ad, right? Product benefits. Whoever you promoted to, do they have need for your product? Did you even try and create that need? Did you create urgency for why should they consider buying from you? Are you even presenting the product in a nice format? It is desirable for the customer who's looking at it. You have not done any of that. You just accelerated the Facebook ad and then you spend 10,000 and you're expecting sales to happen. It won't. This is where, if you actually bring in the basics of marketing, values, how do I break open that values into different creative formats? How do I talk about my USP in a better way? How do I design an offer for a specific segment of buyers? Then start your channels. It will have results. Right?
Right, right. True. This is true. Now I want to talk about, performance marketing, and there are, uh, as a guy who don't know too much about performance marketing, I have heard these things that, okay, performance marketing, okay, you have to get leads in performance marketing, then only you will get paid, or you have to get this much amount of lead for that. Then other people will say you have to get sales in performance marketing, then only you have to impact the revenue of the business, all those things. Then some other people will say that, okay, no, you have to, there will be some objective in performance marketing and you have to achieve that, then it will be a performance. Like, what is the performance marketing?
Got it. A lot of what you said is true, and a lot of what you said is false as well, right? And let me give that definition. People often think that even if you go Google today, the definition of performance marketing, it will say when you pay for performance, that is what is called performance marketing. You go to YouTube, and there are a ton of people who are talking about performance marketing. Everyone will say that, if you pay for a lead, if you pay for a sale, that is called performance marketing. No, that's not true. That's called affiliate marketing, right?
Yeah.
Affiliate marketing has existed since the dawn of internet, right? Since when internet got popular, affiliate marketing was also there. Affiliate marketing refers to a bunch of people. You treat them like the middleman who will help make a sale for you, and they get paid a commission. It's an equivalent of a real estate agent, right? What does a real
Yeah.
estate agent do? The real estate agent, will help you show multiple properties, and if you end up buying one of them, the real estate agent gets paid a commission, right? The same thing happens on the internet. For example, it could be a website that generates a lot of visibility for you. Whenever a sale happens through that particular website, the website gets paid a commission, right? If you are a simple example of that, if you're a consumer watching this, before you buy anything on Myntra, you would go to Google and you search for a coupon code, right? And what will you search for? Myntra coupon code for new users, Myntra coupon code for t-shirts, and you will come across this lot of coupon websites like Coupon Dunia and stuff like that, right? And you go to that Coupon Dunia website and you copy that particular code and you come and paste, you get paid. Coupon Dunia also gets paid because Myntra pays them for generating that particular sale, right?
Yeah.
This is called affiliate marketing. This is not performance marketing at all. Just like any other form of any other discipline of marketing, performance marketing also kept on changing over a period of time, right? I think more than ever, we now have kind of perfect definition of performance marketing. According to me, at least, and multiple other experts that I totally believe in, it is the art and science of showing up in front of the right person at the right time with the right message, right? Uh, the reason I say that is there is a lot that you can control, right? There is a lot you can derive out of, right? And there are a lot of tools at your disposal. And it is not necessarily because, I will get paid only because when I generate a lead, when I generate a sale. No, that's not true at all. Because if somebody tells you, let's say if you're an agency or a freelancer, and if a client is telling you, I will pay you only when there is a lead, I'll pay you only when there is a sale, you should run as far away as possible from that particular client because that client doesn't understand what performance marketing is, right? So yeah, in a nutshell, it's not, in a way, what I said is true, is because performance marketing eventually has to achieve a result.
Yeah.
A lead, it could be a sale, it could be revenue for the organization, it could be driving profit for the organization. But it is not only that. It is not because you get paid for a lead, because you get paid for a sale, that's performance marketing. That's totally incorrect. That's called affiliate marketing.
Right, right. Then, as you said that, you have to run away from the kind of people who say that, let let me help in achieving these objectives and you will get paid for it. So if I am a freelancer performance marketer who just learned, performance marketing or some tools of it, then how do I approach clients, and uh, how should I approach with the my commercials?
Got it. That's a great question. I will break this question into two halves. First is, how should you be approaching a client as a freelance performance marketer? And number two is, how should you do your commercials, right?
Yeah.
Number one question, it's really difficult as a freelancer to be getting high-paying clients, right? Especially in this space, because when you want really big brands with large budgets, they don't trust freelancers for a simple reason. If you ask me, I will not trust freelancers, to manage my performance marketing. The reason being, my entire business's livelihood depends on the performance campaigns that we run, right? And if this freelancer falls sick, or if the freelancer is not reachable for a few days, I cannot run such a risk, right? If there is an agency, even if that particular person who's managing my campaigns is not there, the agency will put another person on it so that the continuity is always there. There is a huge risk for any business in hiring a freelancer for a performance marketing. The only companies that do that are companies that are just getting started.
Yeah.
Companies that are just starting with performance marketing, somebody who's just started an e-commerce website, they're coming to know about Facebook ads and Google ads and stuff like that. Now they're looking for that performance marketing freelancer to get started, right? But the problem with that particular set of clients is they expect you to deliver results very quickly, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know whether to trust you or not, right? Whether you're doing the right thing or whether you're fooling them, because there are more than a number of good freelancers. There are more number of bad freelancers, who just end up fooling people, take away the money and run away and not really delivering anything of value, right? So what I would recommend is, to build your network, right? Or build your brand as a freelancer, right? Of course, you can go bid projects on Upwork and increase your ratings and stuff like that. Because of that, you will get projects, but that's too long process. As a freelancer, if you consistently showcase your expertise about performance marketing, let's say on a platform like LinkedIn, you don't have to worry about clients at all. Trust me, if you consistently talk about your performance marketing expertise on LinkedIn, you will have people reaching out to you. When people reach out to you, you have a say in how you want to run the campaign, right? Instead of, let's say, if you are going to a business and say that, I'm a performance marketing freelancer, they will immediately ask you, okay, I'm going to give you 10,000 rupees. What results can you deliver for me, right? Whereas if that brand is reaching out to you for your expertise, you can help them understand, hey, the first 3 months is going to be spent on understanding the category, in running a lot of tests, running a lot of different creatives, understanding your product deeply, understanding your consumer behavior, right? And then we will start placing our bets on channels that has the highest confidence of converting, that has the highest confidence of giving you better return, right? If somebody is sensible on the other side, they will understand that for any business, for any person, even if they're hiring a person, for them to start delivering value, it's going to be 3 months and beyond, right? And hence, what I always tell people is to have an inbound strategy and not an outbound strategy.
Right.
Be it job seeking, be it client seeking, right? You should have people reaching out to you, which means then you can command how you want to run the show rather than you reaching out to people. Same with the job seekers as well, right? If you keep applying for jobs, if you're desperate, if you're asking people, refer me here, refer me there, you will often come across roadblocks. You will not get the job that you desire. But on the other side, if you have consistently showcased your expertise, you have a fantastic LinkedIn profile. If you have companies reaching out to you, you can dictate terms in terms of when do you want to do the interview, whether you even willing to take that interview or not. You can even tell that first I will speak to your CEO whether he understands marketing or not. Then I will talk to you, the recruiting manager. You can do that.
Right.
And that's a flexibility a personal brand offers you, right? So I would say this is the thing, if you're a freelancer, build your personal brand. If you're an agency, showcase your expertise consistently on LinkedIn, build a foolproof inbound strategy that is always worked for me. When I was running the show at Webenza, inbound, 100% inbound. We never reached out to anybody for business. When the people are coming to inbound, the conversion rates are insane.
Yeah.
Every second client, third client will get closed. We can tell them, hey, boss, take it or leave it, right? Because we have other businesses to help with. We don't want you to be wasting our time. And that happens when you have a strong inbound strategy. And any businesses with a strong inbound strategy command their premium instead of you having to reach out to them. That's what I would say for job seekers, freelancers. If you're running an agency, look at how do I build a strong inbound pipeline. Can that happen because of content? Can that happen because of good SEO? Can that happen because of great personal brand? Can that happen because can I consistently showcase my expertise on platform like LinkedIn and part of different Slack communities, right?
Right. Right. And the thing you said about, building your personal brand, as a freelancer or as an agency owner or as an agency. But don't you think there are very kind of, as Charlie Munger like to say, there are people who just have a shoffer knowledge, like basic upar se wala knowledge, and they tell things and all those things. So uh, how how can you find that objectivity in people that they actually know their job?
Okay, are you talking from a client hiring and agency perspective?
No. So I just want to ask from a freelancer perspective only,
Okay.
that what kind of information I need to share on those platforms, because as of now I have learned this 2-3 things that I know, that I am very confident about, that okay, if someone gives me project on that, I can work on it.
Okay.
So maybe I have to just talk about them only, or because people start talking about, different things. If they only know Facebook ads, but they will also say about this, in Google ads you need to do this and do that. So what are some of the things freelancers or agency owners need to avoid in building their personal brand while
Got it.
sharing the informations?
That's a great question. And there are different types of freelancers, right? So there are people who genuinely know what they are doing, and there are
Yeah.
people who are just getting started because they did not have any option. They got started as a freelancer, right? And the second thing is always a risky business, right? I would advise you to choose a freelancing career when you become an expert at what you do, not when you're figuring out things. If you're figuring out things, go work somewhere. Don't be that freelancer, because even if you manage to impress a client, you will not be able to run the show with that client, because the client will eventually see through you.
Right.
Because if you are testing on clients' money, if you are learning on clients' money, the client will figure it out, right? And how long will you keep on jumping from one client to another? So I would advise you to start your freelancing career once you gain enough expertise on the subject, right? So once you gain enough expertise, you know exactly what type of content to put out there. For example, it could be as simple as how to get started with Facebook ads, what kind of a budget that you want to be allocating. How do you know whether an ad is working or not? Are you facing trouble after iOS 14? How do you fix your tracking, right? If you just spend enough time on different communities, Utsav, you will find a ton of people asking questions. These are genuinely problems that people are facing. And if you have an answer to that question, why not record a video of that and publish that on LinkedIn? Because it's a question that somebody had asked, which means a lot of other people might have a similar need as well. So what I
Right.
would say is, instead of focusing on, let's say, I know people who do this content calendar and stuff like that, what content that I need to be publishing. You are not a brand. You're a personal brand, right? Personal brand, you need to show that you're a person with vulnerabilities, right?
Right.
You don't have to plan your content calendar and stuff like that. Just spend as much time as possible on different newsletters and communities. And whenever a topic struck you, just go and create a piece of content on it. It's just that don't create content in different topics. For example, if you are creating content around performance marketing, suddenly you don't talk about data science. Suddenly you don't talk about cricket, right? This is where you end up losing a lot of your audiences, or you don't end up attracting the right type of audiences. Pick a topic, go really deep in it, right? That's when people start seeing your expertise. And that's when people start reaching out to you for inbound requests. Sometimes it's easy to put out clickbaity content out there. On LinkedIn, even there are people who put the Zomato delivery boy stories and gain engagement, right? Do you think they're getting inbound leads? No shit, right?
Hmm.
So you don't want to be that person. So pick a topic and go really deep. And if you're wondering where do I get content or what do I talk about, just spend time on different Slack communities. For example, Online Genius is a great Slack community for digital marketers, right? S11S is a great community for SaaS marketers in India. So these are communities where you can go spend time and see what type of questions that people are asking. Instead, you can of course respond there as well, but you can take that topic and create a video of yourself and publish it on LinkedIn.
Right, right. This is a great advice. I didn't know about this Slack communities. I know about, the Reddit groups and Reddit communities. I didn't know about the Slack communities. I will
Yeah, Reddit
definitely.
is not the same anymore, right?
Yeah.
If you had asked me about a couple of years ago, I was spending a lot of time on Reddit communities as well, but spammers have figured out a way to get into Reddit, and there are not a lot of productive conversations. I think the world is heading towards really small micro communities. When I say micro communities, people with very specific interests coming together, and they keep the community clean as well. There is absolutely no way for a spammer to come and dominate a conversation. So Slack communities are great, and it may not be the same when Web3 and everything is emerging. It may not be Slack again. It could be something else, right?
Yeah.
So going back to what you had asked me previously, information restriction, right? When you're part of very tight knit Slack communities, you don't really have to gather knowledge elsewhere. Whenever
Yeah.
something new happens, people talk about it. There is a new challenge, people talk about it alongside solutions. So you don't really go have to spend time elsewhere.
Right, right. And I just want to go back to that inbound marketing strategy. So as an agency, let's say as an agency or as a freelancer, let's say someone is like have gained enough amount of experience in that, like 1 or 2 years of experience in creating content or doing performance marketing, and they know their job because they have worked with multiple clients as of now, multiple projects. They know now. So like how they can create effective inbound strategy, so they can get enough amount of client inquiries and all those things, and they can convert their business from that.
Got it. Firstly, if you're a freelancer with expertise, that's how I would like to
Yeah,
differentiate
yeah.
freelancer with expertise, and you have worked with enough number of clients. Firstly, that clients itself will keep on referring you more. That's as simple as that. In fact, at all the companies that I work for, the highest converting channel is a referral channel. Okay. If the previous customer is referring another customer to you, that customer is very likely will work with you, right? That's how referral works. That's how word of mouth works. It's really, really powerful. So first is referral. Second thing is, do not underestimate Google and SEO. There are a lot of people who still search on Google when they're seeking services, right? And they also search for the digital marketing freelancer. The way they search it is there are two places where they often go search. One is Google and one is LinkedIn, where they search for freelancer and they reach out to you. Ensure that you're getting discovered for these keywords. Your LinkedIn profile title, LinkedIn profile description, job description. Ensure that you're repeating the combination of keywords that you want to get discovered for. Similarly, SEO is very, very powerful. For example, digital marketing freelancer Bangalore or Pune, it's a long tail keyword. Only 10, 15 people might be searching for it, but it's very easy for you to get discovered for that long tail keyword. If you just, I mean, as simple as having a dedicated page, and if you're repeating that keyword phrase here and there, there won't be a lot of competition for a long tail keyword like digital marketing freelancer Mumbai. Even if 10 people are searching for it, at least 5 people will be reaching out to you, and they're very likely to give you business. So figure out SEO, figure out inbound in terms of LinkedIn inbound, increase the number of profiles on different freelance marketplaces, right? You can actually put out your portfolio, you can put the customer testimonials. Based on the customer testimonials, people will be reaching out to you. So the more the number of presence that you can have, be it elance, freelancer.net or .com, have as many number of possible. Try and get your clients on that platform too, so that they can give you reviews on these platforms, right? So the more the number of reviews and ratings that you have on these common marketplaces, the higher the inbound leads that you get. This is largely enough. So your LinkedIn inbound, then your freelance marketplaces inbound, then you have a website and for which you are doing SEO for long tail keywords.
Right, right. And this is just out of curiosity. Let's say I'm running a very small agency. We are 2, 3 people, and we are running this. And so in that, we need to the thing that you said about inbound sharing, your expert knowledge on that thing. We have to do that from a brand's page or from our personal branding. Let's say as a so I will share information, or I can make following of my own agency as well.
Yeah. So different channel, different approaches. For example, your website will be on your brand, but on LinkedIn, more than the company page, it is your personal brand that will get more reach, right?
Right.
I'll give you a great example. There is this agency called Refine Labs. Okay.
Okay.
You should check out that agency. Again, they started off small before 4 or 5 years, but they're the world's number one at what they do today within about 4 or 5 years time. And I think they have worked with about 150, 200 brands. They're very expensive. They command premium in the market. They attract the best of the talent. And all of this happened in 4 or 5 years. Refine Labs' main strategy of attracting clients was LinkedIn personal profiles. So the CEO of Refine Labs, Chris Walker, he started off publishing information on LinkedIn as a personal brand. He consistently talked about demand generation, attribution, right, pipeline, marketing qualified leads. He's identified this range of topics, and he had a completely different opinion. Everybody was saying something and he had a completely different opinion. When you do that, you will attract people. See, there are two
Right.
things, right? There is KRK as well. You know KRK, right?
Huh.
KRK known for his antics. You can attract people that way as well, but that won't result in people will follow you to make fun of you, right? On
Yeah.
the other side, if you have a different opinion, if it really makes sense, you will start building your own tribe. And that's exactly what Chris Walker did. Everybody who disagreed with the traditional method of marketing, everybody started following Chris Walker, right? Now, Chris
Right.
Walker has a massive, massive fan base on, LinkedIn, and that personal brand alone drives all of their inbound leads. There is
Right.
nothing, they have never run ads. They don't do SEO for their website. They don't attend physical events, as far as I know, to get leads. Everything is through Chris Walker's personal brand on LinkedIn, right? Then, of course, when Chris Walker started becoming very big, he hired his team, and all his team, the first thing that they need to be doing, they need to become a personal brand. All of the senior team members of Refine Labs, everybody consistently creates content. So look at the number of channels that he has built. It's all LinkedIn personal profiles, but multiple sources of profiles that is bringing in inbound queries for the company. And like I told you, inbound queries are very powerful.
Right.
It converts very quickly, and you command a premium on it, and you get a say in how do you want to continue that engagement instead of the client saying what to do.
Right. Right. And there is also a question out of curiosity that there are a lot of, only freelancers only, and lot of people who do, things in digital marketing. They say that pick a niche in clients also, and approach clients in that niche only, build that niche very well, and then try to do other things. Do you believe in that?
Yes, I do believe
Okay.
in that because compete with, let's say, a very popular digital marketing agency that serves all the, because they will compete with you on the price as well, even if you're a freelancer, just to get the business. I'll
Right.
give you an example. There have been a number of instances when I was working at Webenza, just to get that business, we outbid even the lowest priced agency, right? Because we want to get that logo on our portfolio, because we know for a fact that if we have the logo on the portfolio, using that logo will win more businesses, right? So, yeah, so that is the approach.
Right. So I just want to know, like, do you have to niche down on your services, or you have to niche down on the client side, like the industry of uh
It's a bit
people?
of both. So you need to pick your
Okay.
service niche as well, and you pick the industry niche as well. Because,
Okay.
for an example, I belong to B2B SaaS, right? And we are part of a very tight group. A lot of us B2B SaaS marketers are connected to each other. When I need a reference, I'm going to ping somebody that I know, and I'll ask, hey, do you know anybody who can help me with this? And if they pick up your name, you get your business, right?
Right.
So B2B SaaS niche, I'm a long form content writer, and if you have expertise in that, you will consistently get references. But the problem with that is it's limited, right?
Right.
But instead of you having going too broad and competing with the biggest other agencies and not getting anything, you can actually pick up a niche, service niche and an industry niche, build your portfolio, build your connections, and you become that go-to freelancer for that entire niche.
Right. Right. True. Now, the thing that you said in the question I asked you in what is performance marketing, you said that it's art and science both, and it's about reaching right person at right place and at the right time, right?
With my message, yeah.
Right message. Yeah. So how can you build this combo of right reaching out to right person? How can you do that to reaching out to right person with at right time and with right message?
Cool, cool. So as simple as you would have seen a lot of performance marketers who are over-indexed on Facebook ads.
Yeah.
uh, Everything that they say will start with Facebook ads and end with Facebook ads, right?
Huh.
Because of their comfort with that channel, they might have delivered a lot of results using that channel. The moment you ask them to talk about Google, they might fumble, right? Or they may say that, hey, it is expensive, you shouldn't be testing, right? Either they will fumble or they will drive you away from taking that decision.
Yeah,
But
they will just defend Facebook ads. I'm so sorry, cut you off.
exactly, if
Yeah.
you actually talk about Google ads, it's a very simple form of performance marketing, right? When you go to Google when you have a need, right? And you're, let's say you're planning to go to a wedding, your friend's wedding, couple of weeks down the line, and you want to buy a leather shoe, right? You go to Google and you search for, hey, leather shoe size, or if you have a preferable brand, you put that. My ad showing up there to drive you to my website, and I showcase your beautiful product. The price point is working for you, and I have great reviews. There is nothing more that I need to do, right? In this case, you are the person who searched for the right, who searched for the keyword. I showed up as an ad, right? It's showing up in the right place at the right time when you are actually about to make a buying decision. I am leading you to a website where I give you all the information where you can trust me. If I'm a Flipkart or Myntra, I don't have to establish trust every time because I built that over a period of time, right? But if I'm a relatively new brand, I need to build that trust. Otherwise, you will come and check out my website and you will not buy. This is
Right.
what happens with a lot of fresh brands when you start with, right? You will see a lot of good engagement, people coming and spending time, but they will just not buy because they don't trust you enough. So what can you do on the website to create that trust? Is it big, can you put video reviews of your customers? Can you put media logos that has talked about you, right? Can you make the offer so attractive that the price point is not even matched by Amazon or Flipkart, right? There are so many different ways you could establish trust and convert that brand. That is what I call as a right message. Right message is not necessarily a piece of text, right?
Yeah.
It is exactly what is going to convince that user after you have showed up the right time, right? So
Mhm.
the simplest form of performance marketing is Google search ads. Simplest form of performance marketing is Facebook retargeting with a great offer, right? Another form of performance marketing is, let's say, if you're a buyer, existing customer, and you haven't shopped since a couple of months, what kind of an offer or a campaign can I run to engage you to come and buy again, right? So identifying different segments, be it unknown customers or known customers, breaking open that customer segments. How do you activate each of that customer segment? How do you define an offer for each of these segments? And which channels do you use to drive that offer? In a nutshell, is performance marketing.
Right. True. True. Now I'm going to ask you the question about, we will let's do one kind of a case study. Let's
Mhm.
say I am a snack brand owner, and IPL is coming, and for that, like, a lot of families come to my offline store or my online also, the decision maker of the family, and they buy from us. But now we want to attract 18 to 24 because IPL is coming, and they will watch the games with their friends at home, and people like to eat some snacks while watching the game. So now if I want to run performance marketing ads for this particular to achieve this objective of mine, how can we go about this?
Okay. So even before performance marketing, right? First step to do is the consumer psyche, right?
Okay.
If let me take you as a prospective customer, right? Who you are going to be watching IPL, and you decided I have to go snack shopping, right? Now you as a person would show you could do that snack shopping anywhere, right? I'm not sure how many of the people go to Google and search for snack, right? Because there are
Right.
different ways of doing it. For example, you could use a Swiggy Instamart, right?
Yeah.
Or a Zepto, right? Or if you're a regular Amazon shopper, you might want to place a bulk order there. Or if you have a big basket, you can actually do there, right? Or you could go to a neighborhood store, right? Neighborhood, if you want to just buy, let's say, a few biscuit packets and namkeens, you'll just go to a neighborhood store and buy. If you want to buy in bulk, a lot of quantity, you might want to travel a little far to the D-Mart and buy, right? So there are a variety of ways a customer could buy snack, right? As a business, can I ensure my product is available in all of these places? That's number one, right? Swiggy Instamart delivers my product, Zepto delivers my product, Dunzo delivers my product, your neighborhood store has my product. If you're searching for my brand or my category, I'm going to run my Google ads and land you on my website, right? If you go to DMart, can I offer a bigger packet of my product, at a relatively lesser, cheaper price, right? As a business, first is to ensure the product availability is within your reach, right? Then comes, how do I drive footfalls, right? For example, Swiggy Instamart, you can't actually execute a lot. If people are going to be searching for your category or your brand name, your product is going to get discovered and the buying happens, right? If it is your website, you can do a couple of things. Firstly, on Google Ads, you can actually start bidding on anything to do with snacks, anything to do with IPL, right? So anybody who is searching with a combination of these keywords, you can drive the traffic to your website. Similarly, on Amazon, you can run Amazon ads so that your product comes up on top against other people, right? When on top of your product getting discovered at the top, do you have enough number of ratings and reviews so people trust your listing and convert, right? It's not just running an ad and showing up there, but is there any reviews? Can I have a few influencer promotions going on? For example, right before the IPL season, some of the favorite people that you follow, can I have them talk about they're looking forward to this IPL season, and can I show them along with my products while they're binge watching the match, right? If you can figure out all of these channels, where I can reach you would serve as a customer. And how do I run profitable campaigns? For example, it's easy to run campaigns. For example, a bucket of snacks, let's say it'll cost you like 300 rupees, an average order value. If I have to acquire you profitably, I should be spending at least lesser than 150 or 100 rupees, right? So I need to figure out which channel is actually giving me profitable customer acquisition. For example, if Facebook or Google is giving me a customer at 60 rupees or 70 rupees, can I scale that campaign? Today, I'm starting with where Utsav lives. Can I expand that to different cities, right? So these are decisions of what performance marketers will take to ensure that Utsav as a person is buying my product. It doesn't matter where he's buying, but he's somehow buying my product, right?
Right.
But there are channels that are well within the control of performance marketers. For example, Google Ads, website, Facebook ads. A performance marketer doesn't have any control over product availability on, let's say, Swiggy, Instamart, or a D-Mart, right? That's a whole different team that has to ensure the product availability is there.
Right. True. Understood. Right. Like, what do you think? Where performance marketing is heading in, like, let's say in this next 4 or 5 years? Like, what are some of the new things that is happening in this industry?
A lot of what we are doing is going to be automated. That is for
Okay.
sure. It's already
Okay.
getting automated. For example, Google has introduced something called Performance Max last year. It's a completely automated form of advertising, right? Google already had something called Universal App Campaign, which is purely meant for to get app downloads and stuff like that. Again, it's a fully automated way of advertising. Facebook has automated bidding strategies. In a way, they have automated a lot. Facebook has Advantage Plus placements, which in a way automates the placements that you need to be choosing, right? Creative production is going to be automated. You might have seen copy is already being created by every form of tool, left, right, and center in whichever format that you're asking, right? Almost like a senior copywriter. You just need to know what to ask these engines, and you will get extraordinary output coming out of these AI tools like copy.ai and Peppertype. Creative production, the actual visual production is where we are expecting automation to play a critical role. As of now, there are a couple of options, but it's not great, right?
Right.
So that space will evolve, which means let's say if there are 15, 16 people in a team trying to pull off a performance marketing campaign, it will largely be reduced to 4 or 5 people.
Right.
So performance marketers eventually the what differentiates the best of the performance marketers are somebody who is able to connect the dots better than the others, right? Who is somebody who is embracing the AI rather than running away from it. These are the performance marketers who will be in jobs. If you are not upskilling, if you are not embracing AI, if you are not taking on more responsibilities than what you are doing, then that is something that all of us need to worry about, right? So automation
Right.
is going to play a big role. A lot of what we do, what we call as a skill within Facebook ads and Google ads is going to be automated. There is hardly anything that you will have to do. The work that you will have to do is probably in setting up, you're tracking the right conversions,
Hmm.
your ad visuals, right? The offer making mechanism, right? A new market that you want to explore. A performance marketer will be spending a lot of time over there, then actually sitting and running the campaign and optimizing it because the machine is going to do that for you.
Right. And that's where the thing about, learning fundamentals of marketing will help a
Mhm.
lot of them.
Because
Yeah.
if you know the fundamentals, you'll be able to connect the dots better.
Yeah.
You will be able to convert business needs into a marketing campaign and be accountable for the results that you're generating instead of just being a Facebook ad guy or a girl.
Hmm. True. When I went to, when I signed up, when I saw the ad of your growth school course, I signed up for it. But then I saw in the text that it is for mid-level advanced digital marketers, right? So if I want to learn performance marketing, I don't know anything about it. would that be a good course for me or not?
So there are two things to what I do, right? There is a basic workshop that I run for beginners with Growthschool, right? This is
Okay.
primarily meant for people with 0 to anywhere 3, 4 years of experience, or people who've been in marketing but not done performance marketing. But it is well suited for people who have been exposed to do any form of marketing. It shouldn't be like a people who is coming from a biotech background. It's not meant for them, right?
Right.
If you've been exposed to do a bit of marketing, or if you worked in an agency or some form of a marketing role, you can definitely take up that workshop. I think it's a basic program. But for anybody who is taking that 8 week program that we run with Growthschool, I always say that, hey, you should be a digital marketer. At least run some form of digital marketing here and there, or at least a social media marketing or content marketing, instead of a plain graduate coming out of college, right? So that is like the bare minimum requirement that we have kept for people who are taking up that advanced program.
Right. And uh, if I want to learn some basics of it and basics about digital marketing or performance marketing, what are some of the courses or
Sure.
newsletters or some of the people that I can follow that then from them I can learn really
Sure
well?
thing. Sure thing. First is, I think I've just mentioned, first learn basics of marketing. And that could come from Seth Godin. Seth Godin is the best of the marketing authors of our time. Philip Kotler is previous generation. So anything that Seth Godin has written, please read those books. There are some 3, 4 books Seth Godin classic. Finish that, and that will give you a very good understanding of how different brands go about marketing their business, right? The second thing is, I would like you to start with a lot of free options that are available in the market. Google has a completely free digital marketing program. I think it's called Google Skills Shop or something like that, where Google teaches basics of digital marketing, basics of Google Ads, basics of Google Analytics, everything, right? You don't have to pay a penny. Once you finish that Google program, I would advise you to check out HubSpot's inbound marketing program. HubSpot, again, is a great organization that has a lot of certifications available for free, right? So they have a content marketing certification, social media certification, inbound marketing certification, marketing automation, if I'm not wrong. A lot of these certifications, you can take them up one by one and get it over with, right? The next one is I want you to subscribe to a few good newsletters and a few good YouTube channels. Whatever resources that I'm sharing with is free. The newsletter that I personally follow is called Demand Curve newsletter. Demand Curve is a great newsletter that you can follow. Again, they share a variety of not necessarily restricted to one industry or one channel. They share a variety of things that a performance marketer can learn from. Another one is called TLDR newsletter. You search for TLDR marketing and you subscribe to that newsletter. This is more from a channel update per se. For example, if Google has done something new, Facebook has done something new, instead of you going to have subscribed to different newsletters, you can just subscribe to TLDR newsletter. All the updates that you can possibly imagine around the digital channels will come to you, right? Then I would advise you to be a part of Online Genius Slack community, where a lot of productive conversations happen. There are a couple of Facebook groups. There is something called Facebook Ad Media Buyers. It's a Facebook group that I'm a part of. Again, a lot of productive conversations happen there. Largely, this is more than sufficient because all of this is free. If you're just getting started, don't put money in any big certification program. Okay, start making your first few dollars. Join an organization. When you decide that you're not learning enough and you need to be upskilling, and you can spend money on your own, that's when you have to consider taking up a program. There are a ton of things that are available on the internet for free. So especially when you're a beginner, when you're starting just now, don't put a lot of money. You can of course put 500,000 bucks depending upon how much ever you can dispose, but don't, let's say, put 2 lakh rupee, don't put 1 lakh rupee on a certification program thinking that it will do wonders for you.
Right, right. And this comes to my one of my last question of this podcast. Like, what are some of the myths that you want to break about performance marketing?
Cool. So it's not a magic pill, right? If you've noticed everything that I've spoken so far, you would know that it is largely scientific. It's largely data driven. It's not opinionated, right? So first thing is it's not a magic pill. Many people think that, okay, I'll hire a performance marketer and everything will change overnight. Even if you're hiring an agency or you're putting together a performance marketing team, you need to give them a minimum of 6 months before you start seeing tangible results, right? So don't be in a hurry, right? Second thing is I see people switching off experiments left, right, and center. When I say that, some people would just get started with Google Ads, they would have spent 10,000 rupees, and the cost of acquisition is very high, and they would say Google is not working for me, right? And they shut down these channels very quickly, and they see there are a number of channels that will get you immediate customers are limited. There is Google and there is Facebook, of course. What else? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you keep ignoring these channels, then how will you build your business? So I
Right.
wouldn't advise, firstly, hire the right team, put together the right team, and give them enough time before you conclude that something is working and something is not working for you, right? Third thing is, I think I told you about salaries. Salaries are important. I'm not going to deny. I can say that very well from where I am sitting and saying that salary is not important. And I don't know about your situation, right? But if you can, don't give too much importance to salary early in your career, at least the
Right.
first 3, 4 years of your career. Finding the right company, working with the right mentor, finding the right manager makes a huge difference, right? I'm not sure how many of you follow this formula races. In a formula race, or be it any race, right? Uh, of course, there will be rock star race drivers who will be expected to win the race, right?
Yeah.
Let's say these are, if I have to draw an analogy, these are people who are getting graduated from IIM and other, they're expected to win, right? Because of the kind of background. But there are other people, normal drivers, who are not expected to win, but because they got a good head start, as soon as that green light went up, they got a good head start, they increase their chances of being in the last three at least, right? So don't think too much about money. Actually focus on making a great career, join a great company, find a good mentor, and dedicate yourself that first 5, 6 years. I'm just focused on growing my career, growing myself as a professional, right? That will make a huge difference. Give that head start. Don't think that I'm going to figure it out after 35, after 40, right? I know the average age is 37.
Yeah.
Don't wait till 37 to figure.
37. Yeah.
You have tried so many things for you to be making a good choice when you are 37, right? So that's largely in terms of myths that I wanted to share. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you think learning data analysis is essential or important to be in this performance marketing field?
It is, but not like core data science kind of data analysis, like basic data analysis. If you can read numbers and make decisions, that's more than enough. We will never deal with that volume of data that a data science deals with. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you should know when to put money on which campaign, when to switch off money on something, how to calculate a cost per lead, right? These are some very basic mathematical calculations, right? So, I mean, of course, there are people who read the data better, then there are people who cannot read the data as well. So it is great, but you don't have to have the data scientist kind of data analysis skill set. Just
Right.
basic data analysis skill set is more than sufficient, because
Right.
this is something that you will gain with experience. If somebody who's with 1 year experience versus somebody who's with, let's say, who's been in the industry for a while, they will be able to read the data pretty quickly. The guy who's been dealing with a lot of data, who's been in the industry for a while, or the girl, they'll be able to read the data pretty quickly and solidly come up with a decision, whereas the people with 1 year experience, they will hesitate to take that decision. That's the difference. But both of them will be able to read the data. Hey, my budget is 10,000, my CPL is 1,000 rupees. Both of them will read that data. It's not that big a deal. Yeah.
Right. Right. Thank you so much, Deepan, for doing this, because there are a lot of topics that I can talk with you, but we have a time constraint. But I will definitely invite you for the second time on the podcast, and we will have a chat about some other things about sports and all those things, because I'm into a lot of sports as well. I watch a lot of sports. I will like to discuss things on sports as well with you. But this was super informative, podcast recording for me. I got to learn so much about performance marketing. There were some thoughts in my head about particular perspective about it. It has now completely changed because of some of your answers. So thank you so much for doing this, and I hope for you guys as well it will be as informative as it was for me. So please make sure you subscribe to our channel. I will link all the social media handles of Deepan, his Instagram, his LinkedIn. You can follow him on that, and make sure to subscribe to our channel, and please comment down your 3 learnings from this podcast. I will make sure I will send some of those to Deepan as well if you have some of the questions, and I will try to get the answer as many of your queries from the comment section. Thank you so much, Deepan, for doing this. I had a blast.
Thank you for having me. I loved having this conversation. What's up?
Yeah, thank you. And that's it from this episode. अगर आपको ये episode अच्छा लगा हो, then make sure you hit that like button and share this episode with your friends as much as you can, especially with friends who has particular kind of interest in this kind of topics. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it will be very helpful for our channel. Thank you so much.